Devasya Pashya Kavyam. This is a frequently quoted Veda mantra. Devasya Pashya Kavyam. Atharva 9-10-9. Atharva 9-10-9. 9th Kanda, 10th Sukta, 9th Mantra. Devasya Pashya Kavyam. Now here, Kavya, in the general sense, it is understood a piece of literature. It could be a prose, or it could be a poetry, or it could be a drama, or it could be an essay, something it's called as a Kavya in the usual parlance. But the actual meaning of the word Kavya is whatever is done by a Kavi is called as Kavya. Kavikrita karmam kavyam. Kavikrita karmam kavyam. Anything. So a sculptor sculpts a sculpture, even that is also a kavya. A singer sings, that singing is kavya. It need not be restricted to only a piece of literature. That's what I mean to say. How wide the meaning could be is, child is the kavya of mother and father. Something like that. So here, Devasya Pashya Kavyam. Deva is also called as Kavi. Deva is a Satchidananda. Satchidananda is also referred to as Kavi. That is in Yajurveda 40.8. Saparega Chukram Akayam Auranam Asnaviram Shuddham Apapa Vidham Kavirmanishi Paribhu Swayam Bhuhu. So that word is specifically used for Satchidananda, Kavihi. And an explanation given to Kavi is the Krantadarshi. Krantadarshi. One who is capable of seeing something beyond is called as a Kavi. Of course, it applies to even the poets and literates. That is, they are able to visualize so many things which a common eye cannot see. That's why they become Kavi. And here Satchidananda is a Kavi because he can see everything. Everything, A to Z, micro to macro in the whole universe. So he is the greatest and the excellent and perfect Kavi. Devasya. Deva is also another name given to the same Satchidananda. Deva is Dudai Dane. That's also there. Dev Krida Vijigisha Vyavahara is also there. Devo Dana Dva. That's also there in Yaska. That is Nirukta. So the one who is the giver of everything is also Deva. So everything in this universe is a gift of God. So he is Deva. Devasya Kavyam. The whole creation is by that Satchidananda. He is a great Kavi and he is also Sarva Datra, one who gives everything. His Kavya is everywhere. Now, what is the quality of this kavya? That's also a very, very important thing. The quality of this kavya is the best. It's nothing less than the best. Because the one who has created all these things, audio, someone has to close it. Yes. That is, this creator who has created all these is omniscient. He's not a layman. He's not a layman, or he's not doing trial and error method. In Puranas, they speak of such folk tales. So he created one, then he created another, he was not happy, then he created another one, he is not happy. Finally, a perfect thing was created, and that was a human being. That's how the story goes. No, he is not into the trial and error method mode. He is omniscient, and whatever he does is perfect. Now, when I say creation, I've explained many times, still I have to remind once again, the creation what I'm speaking of is out of the Sat, the whole world. Sat was not created by anyone. It just existed. Satchit, that is we souls, we are not created. We are there. Anadi Ananta. Satchidananda was not created. It is there, Anadi Ananta. It just existed. These are the three primary things which existed. Sat, Satchit, Satchidananda. This I have told many times. So, these three are never created, and the word creation doesn't apply to these three. They just existed. They just exist. They are going to exist. Sanadi Ananta. After the existence of these three comes the question of creation. That is, using this jada, this whole universe was created by the omniscient and omnipotent power Satchidananda for the sake of Satchit. A whole thing falls in place. So whenever I say creation, it is the creation of this universe by the eternal raw material, that is the jada. You look anywhere which is a creation of God. Now, after it's created, we have got lot many things, and secondary creation we are going into. That's we human beings and so many animals, creatures, we create so many things. But all the creation is based on what is created by Satchidananda. Ours is a secondary creation. Maybe I create a machinery. That's my creation. But every part of that machinery, every raw material of that machinery is created by God. Say steel. Steel is one of the raw materials, let me say. Now, steel was not created by me. Or steel was created, but it was from the iron ore. Iron ore was not created by me. It's a naturally available mineral. So from that naturally available mineral, then I prepare steel, and using that steel I prepare machinery. Okay, fine. I prepare a pot. Pot is my creation. But for preparing this pot, the mud what is there, it's not my creation. It's there already created by Satchidananda. Secondary, tertiary creations, they are all attributable to us. Birds build their nests. It's their creation. Beautiful. But for that, what they use? The small boughs, the small branches, or the leaves, or any such thing. It's not their creation. It's already there in the nature. Using wood, we manufacture a lot of furniture. Fine. That's our creation. But the basic raw material for creating all this furniture, that is wood, is not our creation. It is a creation of the God. So when you are speaking of Devasya Kavyam, We should basically look at the creation of God in the first place and not the secondary and tertiary creations. This you should be very clear. We should be able to draw a very clear line between these creations. The first creation is by Satchidananda, then all other things. So whenever we have to look at the creation as directed in this piece of Veda mantra, Devasa Kavyam Pashya, look at the creation of that great God, omniscient, omnipotent. We should look at the first creation. The stars, the moons, the Panchabhutas, and a combination of Panchabhutas into so many things around us. A tree, a river, a rivulet, waterfalls, stones, rocks, mountains, volcanoes, different species of creatures, animals, plants. Everywhere it is there. That we have seen already in another Veda mantra. Vishnu Karmani Pashyata. That we have seen. You look anywhere, you will see that primary creation. But we should be able to distinguish between the primary and the secondary creation. Secondary creation, there is an intervention of some creature other than Satchidananda. We have to look at the karma of the Deva. This is complementary to that. Vishnu Karmani Pashyata, Devasya Pashya Kavyam. Same. Now, what's the beauty of it? That's the next thing. There's one very big argument of those who are involved in idol worship. So they always argue on one point. Why we do that idol worship? Our one simple reason is when we look at that idol, we remember God. That's one argument what they give. Because you remember God, you worship idol. But this argument doesn't hold water because that idol is not a primary creation. Whether it's in stone or wood or silver or gold or whatever it is, marble. Idol is not a primary creation. A primary creation alone can remind us of the Creator. A secondary creation always takes us towards the secondary creator. Look at an idol and say it is very fine. Immediately we get in the mind, what a beautiful sculptor he is, what a beautiful skill he has. Then forcibly we have to take our thought towards that Satchidananda. It's a circuitous way. But if you look at a hillock, if you look at a mountain, the Alps or the Himalayan, yes, directly we get the remembrance of that Satchidananda. That's the primary creator. So it is always better to have the route to remember things as short as possible, as straight as possible, without any interventions. Number one. Number two, everything said and done, the idol is never a representation of Satchidananda. That's also simple. It's a piece of art. I have no objection about it. It's a piece of art, fine. But it never is a representation of, a presentation of Satchidananda. Because Satchidananda basically is formless, akaya. It's a piece of art. Piece of art is different. Calling this piece of art as Satchidananda is not right. And this piece of art cannot remind us of Satchidananda, but it can very well remind us of the artist. Beautiful photo. Immediately we think of the artist, how wonderfully he has painted this, drawn this. Fine. But when we look at the natural things, that is the one created by God itself, then we remember God. So the idol is really a obstacle in remembering God. It's not an aid. It's not an aid. It's an obstacle. So I have to overcome it. Overcome it and see God in the primary creation. Look at anything, even a simple leaf. If you study a simple leaf, what are all the mechanisms that are there in that? It's green, chlorophyll, photosynthesis, that itself is a wonderful process. I cannot create chlorophyll and put it in an artificial leaf and see that photosynthesis takes place. No, not possible. Look at any seed, put it, sprouts. From where has come that strength of sprouting? Amazing. Amazing. So finally, that's what happens. Devasya Pasya Kavyam. Look at it. It is so amazing. If you are blind to the primary creation, you are not amazed. And we are not amazed. We are ready to exploit it for our selfishness. That's what happens. And that's what is happening now. Around the world, how many of us really respect and love and want to preserve natural resources? You just think of. Every one of us, every government, every society. Of course, here, we have got certain societies whom we call them as aborigines, or tribal people. Of course, they are the very people who are protecting natural resources even today. They are in tune with the nature. But for them, all so-called modern society around the world, they are all there to exploit resources. We pollute air, we pollute water, we pollute land, we pollute sound. And whatever is available, how well I can use it for my sake, this is how we think. What are its properties? What I can do out of it? How I can encash it? Encash doesn't mean not converting into money only. Do something, some gadget, some appliance, something, this and that. So what happens is, protecting that nature, protecting that natural resources takes a last bench. That's a problem. It's happening. This whole world is facing so many global problems because of this attitude of the human beings. But if Devasya Pasya Kavyam is understood, if Vishnoha Karvani Pashyata is understood, the way we look at the resources will be totally different. We look at them not as resources. We look at them as treasures to be preserved, to be enjoyed as they are. The best place for a flower is to be on the plant. That's his primary place. To pluck it and bring it and put it in a flower vase and place it on our teapot, it's all our crookedness, to be very clear. I cannot go to the plant. I cannot wait for the flower to bloom. I cannot sit there and enjoy its color. So I'm so selfish. I want to be at the warmth of my house, but enjoy that flower. So what to do? Pluck it, bring it here. See, it's my crookedness. But if I'm having that attitude or perspective of looking at the nature as it is, Devasya Pasya Kavyam, then the way I look at it is different. I don't expect that flower on my teapot. I am ready to go there where it blooms and see it and enjoy it and appreciate it. Everything, not only this one example I gave. There are so many such things. Where they are, where they belong to, we should appreciate it and respect its position. Because there, when it blooms, it has got its own role to play. A flower which has bloomed attracts bees. The same bee will not come on your teapot, in your flower vase. Now what's the role of a bee? Propagates. It propagates that. Now we are disturbing that whole ecological cycle by plucking it and putting it wherever we want. to enjoy. That's why you're disturbing the whole system. It's a very simple thing what I have told. When we look at all our interventions, then the disturbance what we are causing is enormous. Why it's happening? Because I am not able to see the creation of that Satchidananda, where it is as it is. I am not able to appreciate it as a product of skill of Satchidananda, the omniscient. I'm just looking at it as one of my resources, as one of the things which I can exploit. But I look at it as a kavya. If I look at it as a piece of literature, now literature I'm using in a different sense. When you look at the creation and look at that literature of God, you'll be amazed, and we never can even imagine to disturb it. That's what is required. Everywhere in the world, always, in all societies. This is truly followed by, as I said earlier, the tribal people who live in the forests. There are such tribes everywhere in the world. They are the real people who are protecting nature, who are enjoying nature, who are not disturbing nature. Every other person, we are doing it. And finally, who is suffering? It is we only. It is nothing but inviting our own doom. We are inviting our own doom day by day. It's happening. It's happening. How the world was before 50 years, before 100 years. If you compare with the position of the world today, it has become more treacherous, it has become more disturbing, it has become more polluted. Who is the cause of it? Nobody can be blamed except our own selves. Why? Because you are not able to see. You are not able to observe the creation of God. The Sveda Mantra reminds you, Devasya Pashyakavin. It's there. You look at it. What a beautiful poetry it is. Every flower, every tree, every river, every mineral, every stone, every piece of stone is a poetry. But you should have that outlook. You should have that perspective. You should have that eye to look at it. If you are blind, or if you are short-sighted, then the best things we miss. Don't miss things. Everything can remind you of that Satchidananda when you look at the primary creation. One Hindi bhajan is there, it says, Har vastu hai Bhagavan, tumhari yaad dilata hai. Har vastu, Bhagavan, tumhara yaad dilata hai. So wonderful. Provided we have got that attitude, provided we have got that perspective, anything that is a primary creation immediately reminds us of its creator. And that's Satchidananda. Not an idol, not a photo, not a painting, not a drawing. Of course, they remind us of the artist and the sculptor, but not the Satchidananda. So when we get this attitude, so many things will happen. Number one, we always remember Satchidananda, and we'll be able to appreciate his skill, his omniscience, his omnipotence, omnipresence. It's something great to remember God always. That means to be closer to God always. Taddure tadvantike. If you miss it, we are away from him. If you are at it, we are always with God. Being with God is a wonderful experience. And we will not spoil it, we will not disturb it, we will protect it. That's also for our benefit only. Not only our benefit, that's for the benefit of we and the whole world around us. And what about the secondary creation? Of course, We can do the secondary creation, tertiary creation, other things. But we'll see that we maintain it at the minimum that is possible. Because every secondary and tertiary creation is ultimately a disturbance on the primary creation. Disturbance in the ecology, disturbance in the whole cycle, disturbance in the whole structure. But can we totally avoid it? No, we cannot avoid it. We need secondary creation. We need tertiary creation. Fine. But we do it the minimum. Our intervention with the natural processes, our intervention with the ecological cycles will be as little as possible, and they will all be reversible. This is another very important thing. Maybe we intervene, maybe we disturb it a little, but they are all reversible. That's how we take care. Now, all the processes what we are doing in the modern day, very few of them are reversible and most of them are non-reversible. Done means done. Polluting air is very easy, but how can we reverse it? We don't know. We use the fossil fuel, the petrol, diesel, everything, burn it. The carbon dioxide and monoxide proportion will increase in the environment. How do you reverse it? Because this pollution, acid rain is coming. How do you reverse it? We use nuclear power and we get a lot of nuclear waste which are highly radioactive. How do you reverse it? See? When that one simple question of how do you reverse it comes, 99.9% our answer is sorry, I cannot. And why do you do it? Why do you do it? No, we never have given a serious thought to it. From where it has to start? There will say Pashya Kavya. That's all. Start from there. Whole thing will change. Now those which I said as non-reversible too, of course, in a long period they become reversible, provided we start thinking from, they will say Pashya Kavya. Look at the poetry of God. It is so wonderful. Just enjoy it. Be happy. And what all you want for your sustenance and simple life, it is all available. Secondary creation is required, do it. Tertiary creation, do it. But see that they are all reversible and doesn't intervene too much into the running process. Who started that whole process to run? That's Satyananda. How do you know? Pashya, look at it, observe. It's a poetry of God. When you look at the poetry of God, immediately remember God. When you immediately remember God, you'll remember the rules and regulation systems established by God. Then what will you do? You follow it, you abide by that, and be happy, make others also happy. The same thing what we saw there. Vishnu karmani pashyata, eto vratani paspashe. The whole life becomes disciplined, provided we observe it. Because everywhere in the poetry of God, it's all discipline. It's not random. Of course, we use the word random because we are not able to understand it, so we call it as random. We are not able to understand. We are not able to appreciate what it is. We are not able to evaluate it. We are not able to analyze it. You say, no, it is happening something random. Saying it is happening randomly is, I'm sorry, I'm not able to understand it. That's the meaning of it. There is no randomness in the universe. It's perfect. How do you know? They will say, Pashya Kavya, look at that poetry, study it. You spend years to study poetry and get a doctorate in literature. Why not you study this literature? This beautiful poetry, which transforms the whole life and the whole universe, whole society. But those people who study this poetry and live, they never get doctorates. Very ridiculous. There are people, there are, as I said, the tribal people. They are real students of nature. They are in tune with nature. They don't disturb at all. They live to. They have their basic requirements satisfied. but in such a way that whatever they do, it's all without any burden on the nature, and they are all reversible. One simple thing what those tribal people do is, whatever they want, they collect it locally, indigenously. That is very important. All the requirements are met locally and indigenously. But you are not so. You are great exporters and importers. Was it exporting and importing? Yes. You have to disturb nature to the maximum extent possible. And we cannot imagine a modern world without export and import. If I say so, somebody will say, I have gone mad. Forget about it. Import and export is a lifeline of the modern society. But that itself is the deathline of modern society also. It's not a lifeline, it's a deathline. We are experiencing it. People who are able to look at the world in a wider perspective, they know there are a lot of global problems, irreversible, very dangerous. But we as common people, we are not aware of it. When every one of us become aware of it, yes, we change our thinking, we change our lifestyle, we change our attitudes, we change our relationships with people around, creatures around, and nature around. That's what should happen. The shift has to take place. Otherwise, we are inviting our own end. We are rushing towards our end. It should not happen. Of course, we are there. But what about our future generations? The future is very bleak. In a future time, not too far away, maybe a few decades ahead, they cannot think of pure air, they cannot think of pure water, they cannot think of pure rain, they cannot think of pure food, they cannot think of pure land. See, what's it we are giving to our future generation, our children, grandchildren? Is it a worst world? And how can we say we love our children and grandchildren? We are not loving them. We are destroying them. We are today, because of our lifestyle and modernization and being a burden on the resources, we are actually writing their death sentence. It's a serious allegation what I'm doing. We are all writing the death sentence of our children and grandchildren. You have to think twice, thrice, 100 times. All that whole thought process from where it has to begin. Devasya Pashyakavya. Vishnu Karmani Pashyati. That's the starting point. Everything is clear. Now these small pieces of sentence, Devasya Pashyakavya, just 3 words, are so powerful. It changes the whole thing. Not only this, any piece of Veda mantra, when you go deep into it, when you try to understand it, correlating with the different other pieces of Veda mantra, it has a great impact. We teach ecology. We teach about environment. Fine. But the main point, the main crux, the main focus of all that has to be Devasya Pashyakavya. Look at it. Observe it. There is no replacement for it. It's gone, it's gone. We cannot create an equally efficient ecological process or ecological cycle. We cannot. We cannot create that balance. But we are masters in disturbing that balance. We are doing it. Solve some serious thoughts that we have to think again and again and again. And always in the background rings this word, Devasya Pashyakavyam. Now the same mantra, in continuation of this, we have got one more thing. Devasya Pashyakavyam na mamara na jiryati. It's next part of it. Same mantra. Devasya Pashyakavyam na mamara na jiriyati. The processes what are there, primary processes, they're all najirati, jiruvayohanam. Relatively, they never become worn out. Relatively. They work for long time. Relatively. Not forever, a long time. The process, this creation of God runs for lakhs and lakhs, crores and crores, millions of years. Non-stop. Namamara, never dies. Why is it relatively? Compare it to the secondary creation, tertiary creation. I created a machinery. How long it can run? 5 years, 10 years, non-stop, 24/7, 15 years, 50 years, 100 years. What about this one simple heart created by God? Non-stop, it works from the moment of birth to the moment of death. Non-stop. All the 365 days, around the clock. How wonderful it is. And you never know that he's doing that work continuously. How many such machineries it has created? Just one simple example I told. Millions of such machineries are created by God. Millions of such processes are working. Millions of such processes working in millions of species. Plants and animals. So wonderful, so wonderful. This whole process runs and runs and runs. Compared to it, the life of the second and tertiary creations of ours, that whole big time scale is not even one dot. Even if it works non-stop for 500 to 1,000 years. In the modern language, they call it as a perpetual machine. Perpetual machine, a machine which works continuously. And the energy required for that, it's out of that working only, it creates and works, it creates and works. Perpetual machines. It has been an intriguing field for scientists to create perpetual machines. But whatever they do, it may run into several decades or maximum 1 or 2 centuries over. And what was God's creation? This whole world is one creation. This whole world is one kavya of that God. And this whole kavya, this whole piece of literature, this whole poetry, if I consider this whole universe, is running from millions and millions of years. Non-stop. What a wonderful system. Namamara Najiriyati. It never wears out. It never dies. Relatively. That's one very important thing. Relatively. One day, okay, after billions of years, there's one day where we'll have that pralaya. This whole system collapses, fine, but the same thing is again re-established. And once again it works. So in that sense, it never dies, it's eternal. Now that is the nature of the poetry of God. Poetry of God is different. Poetry of me, all other creatures is different. It's not the same. Ours is of a very, 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 very lesser span. And that is of the highest billions of years. Devasya Pashyakavyam Namamara Najiriyati is another dimension they are adding in this mantra. In the earlier mantra, it's the same. Vishnu Karmani Pashyata Devasya Pashyakavyam. There they take into a different dimension from there. Vishnu Karmani Pashyata Yeto Vratani Paspashe. Here they say Devasya Pashyakavyam Namamara Najirati. Another dimension they are giving. But they are all complementary. They are not contradictory. They are all complementary. One supports the other one supports the one. More and more features of the poetry of God is revealed. And if you really look at it, there is nothing but amazement. There is nothing but celebration. The whole world is so wonderful, so amazing, so awesome. And only when we are able to experience that, not know, but experience it, yes, way we look at every product of nature, every piece of that poetry of God is totally different. And it's all enjoyment and enjoyment. Amazement. How wonderful it is, how beautiful it is, how thoughtful it is, how useful it is. And there is a lot of interdependency between all these parts of creation. Every line of this poetry is interrelated. Very complex, yet very simple to understand. Provided we are having that aptitude. And the whole aptitude begins from chanting, begins from pondering over Devasya Pashyakavyam Namamara Najiriyati. Though it is a small sentence, Devasya Pashyakavyam, when it starts revealing itself, unfolding itself, yes, it's a very big thesis that we can arrive from. Next one. Yastanna Veda. Yastanna Veda. Kim Richa Karishyati. Yastanna Veda Kim Richa Karishyati. Yastanna Veda Kim Richa Karishyati. Atharva 9, 10, 18. 9, 10, 1, 8. Yastanna Veda Kim Richa Karishyati. Yaha Tat Na Veda. Yastanna Veda. Yaha Tat Na Veda Kim Richa Karishyati. Richa means that R is, it's a vowel. Richa. Richa, vowel. Yaha tat na veda kim richa karishyati. It's a beautiful question. There's a question in this. Here richa is referred to the Vedas. Richa is referred to the Vedas. Kim richa karishyati. What can these Vedas do? The answer is it can do nothing. What's it? We have been studying it over years and we say now it does nothing. What can it do? But that question comes not as it is, but earlier to that is said, Yaha Tat Na Veda. Tat means that. What is that? The essence. The essence. Who is the essence? What is the essence? It's nothing but Satchidananda. That's what we have been discussing so far. So after all the Vedic study, we should be able to realize Tat. Tat is that Satchidananda. That's a great power. The truth, you call it as Satya, you call it as Nitya, you call it as Kavi, you call it as Vishnu, anything. So the ultimate thing is, after the Vedic study, we should be able to realize truth. We should be able to visualize truth. We should be able to experience that peace and bliss. That should be ultimate result. That should be ultimate product, ultimate benefit. If I'm not able to experience that bliss, if I'm not able to realize that Satchitananda and its creation, then what all I know about Veda is just a bookish knowledge. Just a bookish knowledge. It's just an information. It never gets translated into knowledge and experience, wisdom. It stays at the level of information. And what will this information help you? Nothing. Useless. Even if it is Veda. Even if it is Veda. It becomes dry. It will have no life in it. The life in Veda is realization. Unless we realize Satchitananda, unless we realize the truth, unless we realize the facts, what is the use of knowing it? Information could be there. What's the use? Unless this information gets itself translated into experience, translated into knowledge and wisdom, is of no use. It's useless. It's just like a tape recorder which just chants and chants lot of Veda mantra morning till night. It chants. We put it on, we have recorded, we put it on. It just goes on chanting. Om Bhurbo Satasagara, Om Bhurbo, Om. Thousands of times, day and night. What's the use? It's a machine. It cannot understand even a single word of it. It cannot realize. Then what are you if you are not realizing? You are as good as a machine. That's just a machine. You are a walking and talking and sleeping and eating machine. That's all. But you are also a machine. Nothing will come out. Nothing will come out. Kim rucha karishyate. What can it do for you? But can we say it is useless? Can we say it is powerless? No, no. It's got all the power. That the power has to be unfolded, packed. It should be brought out. By whom? One who can realize. If a person has not realized, if a person has not able to visualize the truth, then this whole thing, the whole power of the Vedas will be locked. We cannot unlock it. Unless we unlock it, we will not be benefited. We will not get anything. What is the use of it? I have a very big treasury with me. Locked. I have lost the key. What is the use of that treasury for me? The lock is not there. Whatever be in the treasury, it is all a waste for me because I cannot open it. Lock is lost. It may be a very small treasury, it doesn't matter. If I have got the lock and I can open it and use it, yes, it's useful. That's what they call it as Vyavasayatmika. Vyavasayatmika, that which can be put to use. Anything small or big, unless it is possible for us to put it to use, it is useless. A wonderful high-class machinery is with me, but I'm not using it. What's the use? It's there. It's a beautiful machinery. Wonderful. All technology is there in it. And what's it you're doing? I'm putting it in my cellar and locking it. That is, Kim Rucha Karishyati. That's a question it asks. What is the use of the whole Veda, the Vedic study, unless Yaha Tat Na Veda. Veda means to know, Vidijnane. Unless we are able to realize what it is, it's of no use. It's not only with reference to this Veda, any knowledge for that matter. Any knowledge for that matter. It's there in the book. I studied. I studied all the circuits, this and that, everything fine. What's the result? Well, it is there in the book. Instead of in the book, it is in my memory. Over. What is the use? Nothing. It should be applied. It should be applied. It should be converted to something practical. Only when I apply it, yes, it becomes useful. Here, as far as Veda is concerned, to apply it, to convert it, to transform it into action and experience, that's fine. But the same thing will not hold good everywhere. In modern day construct, we have got the same thing. We speak of science and technology. Science is theory. Science is theory. Technology is conversion of the science is into something which is usable. That's technology. Without science, technology will not come. Technology is a product of science. But here, while converting science into technology, we should apply our prudence. We should apply our alertness. Otherwise, the very technology will become a bane, will become a problem. So, while converting science to technology, we should be very careful. Atomic science. Technology is converted, it becomes an atom bomb. So when it is converted into technology and when it falls into bad hands, Hiroshima and Nagasaki will happen. So it's not that every piece of science has to be converted into technology, or if converted, a lot of protection should be there and should be given to only deserving hands. So many things we have to do it. With reference to science and technology in the Sat world, in the material world. But here when you come to the spiritual world, we don't have such problems. We don't have such problems. No such restrictions, no such conditions. All the spiritual knowledge that we have got, unless they are all converted into the way of life, the thoughts, the words and actions, Kim Rucha Karishyati. What is the use of it? You know everything, fine. What is the impact on life? Nothing. We are as we were. Useless. Useless. Absolutely useless. What I mean to say is, or what that mantra means is, this whole Veda is for application only. It's not just theory. It's not just theory. It is meant to apply, it is meant to practice. Veda is not for study. Veda is for application. Devasya Pashyaka, we understood it. Vishnu Karmani, we understood. But have we applied it? If you apply, you get the benefit. If you don't apply it, no. Kim Rucha Karishyati. What will that Vedic knowledge help you? In what way it will help you? No way. They give one more comparison further. It is like a donkey carrying sandalwood. Sandalwood, you know, is so wonderful, so fragrant. But the donkey doesn't know the fragrance. It carries it and says it is too heavy. It can experience only the heaviness, but not the fragrance, because it's a donkey. So you will also be donkeys carrying Vedic literature on our backs. Kim Rucha Karishyati. What can you do for us? But we will understand the heaviness of it. Oh, lot of things, so many mantras, so many that. So many lectures, so many books. Fine. But what is the outcome? Outcome is a big zero, because we are not care to apply it. We are not care to understand what should have been understood, what ought to have been understood. Yaha tat naveda, in the very core, in the very essence, what is there in the focus, if I miss it, Rucha Kim Karishyati. It may be Veda, true, but what can it do? The doing part is not in the Veda. The doing part is on us. The onus, the responsibility is on us. After the Vedic study, we have to look at the world totally in a different eye, totally in a different perspective. Then what all we have studied will have its own impact, will have its own benefit. And we have to note that that benefit is not only for us, it's for the entire world. See what a wonderful thing it is. And there is no restriction whatsoever. Caste, creed, nationality, gender, race, nothing. Applied, it's for all. It's good for all. So wonderful it is. But all the benefits you are going to get only when it is applied and practiced. Anusthana and acharana. Unless we do that, mere theory, mere knowledge, mere scholarship, mere academic proficiency, kim rucha karishyati. What can you do? Mere academical qualification, mere academical professionalism is of no use. Academically, it's fine. What's the use of it? The real use is in its application and not in its scholarship. It's not that we are against scholarship, but more than scholarship, we are interested in its practice. Practice alone can bring out the change. Practice alone can bring out the effect. Mere professing is of no use. Professing and lecturing is okay, but it results in a big zero. It can never contribute anything to either to our life or to the world of the world. We have to apply it, practice it. Benefits will flow. Benefits will get showered. Benefits will rain. It's not trickling. Benefits are enormous. But where is the point? Yaha tat Veda. When we know it, when you realize it, the truth, when you realize the Satchitananda, when you realize the relationship between Sat, Satchit and Satchitananda, everything will happen. And all this is mainly, the focus is the spiritual thing. Of course, material things are there, I'm not denying it. But that's not the end of it. Ubhayatrate artham, we have discussed. Yaha tata na Veda. By any chance, if you don't realize the truth, if that truth, if that Satchitananda doesn't dawn in you, rucha kim karishyati. Gone. It will never come to your rescue. It will never help you. It's of no use. It can never be your aid. So basic things realization. Should you realize the whole Veda? No, not necessary. Even one simple truth can transcend you. Even one simple truth, when we realize it, it can take us across. This realization of truth, of course, through Vedas it becomes easy, but even without the help of Vedas, that truth is everywhere. You can realize it even without the help of Vedas. How? Look at it. Devasya Pashyakavyam. Over. I never said, do the Vedic study. No. Devasya Pashyakam. Look at the creation of God. You realize truth. Even study of Veda also is not a prerequisite. Because even a lot of Vedic study will go a waste. When Yaha Tatana Veda, if you are finally not realizing it, then all your Vedic study is a big waste. So the emphasis is on, the stress is on the realization of truth, the realization of Satchitananda, rather than the scholarship or the academical processes. It's not that academical process and scholarship is not required, but they will fructify only when you realize. That's the ultimate thing. You should reach that level of realization, that visualization, that experience. Then all this will contribute. The whole thing will be opened up. And a lot of things will flow out. But if that is not done, it's all locked and of no use. The time spent on all those study, which never gets itself translated into action, all the study is a big waste. Small or big, less time or more time, it doesn't matter. It's a waste. How do you understand? Kim rucha karishyati. That's a simple question. What will it do? Nothing. Scholarship is of no use. Application, practice is more important. If our outlook towards life, your perspective towards life, if it doesn't change, scholarship is a waste. Yaha tat na veda, pracha kim karishyati. The answer is, it does nothing. It does nothing. Even richa. But also it says, if you have a little inclination towards it, it can do wonders. It does it. Even for those who are not able to realize too, it will motivate them to realize. That's a different issue. We have got other things there. But in the very first place, it asks a question. Unless you practice, unless you put it into practice, what's the use of all your study? It's a waste. Study, that's fine. But you have to study with an intention of practicing it in life. Transform yourself. Study it. You get the results fast. Okay, thank you for the day. Namaste.